I'm going to try an experiment. I know some of you realize that I did write this book, and a lot of folks I had given it to never read it. So I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to try to do this at a chapter at a time and see how it goes. Interestingly enough, wrote this in 1994, finished it in 1995, so it took a whole year to write, but it took 10 years to get it published. So it was published Valentine's Day 2005. It's now out of print. It's my only published book. I got a few other things that were never published. It's called The Alpha Treaty. And just to shorten it down, I just use DJ as my initials, Marshall. And the cover is artwork that I helped the artist do. Very interesting. And the back cover has me on a chair, so I figured I'd do the same thing. I'll sit on a chair and talk to you about the book. So this book I wrote when I was really struggling with Mikey's autism. It took me like 10 years to get through that process. And I just want to read to you the dedication to it. Dedication to God, who gave me the gift of my imagination, who will go to great lengths to secure justice for the downtrodden, even to recreate entire worlds for those oppressed by racial and religious prejudice. To my mother and father, who always encouraged me to use my imagination, who live lives of quiet heroism and daily self-sacrifice. To my wife and children, who put up with my imagination, who are always interested in living life to the fullest and sharing their talents to make the world a better place to live. Kind of a long-winded dedication, but it was definitely from the heart in 1994. All right, part one, the beginning, all right? This is science fiction. So what all science fiction tries to do is explain things, try to solve problems, try to find meaning in life, and this one is no different. So what this is trying to do is trying to find meaning as to what was happening in my life, playing it out in a scientific format, a science fiction format, and then trying to see what results would come out of that. And the results I got were results of healing for me personally. So chapter 1. Ava hadn't emerged yet, Governor Bandalox recalled, as he stroked his silver gray beard and spied his bubbly daughter engaged in an animated conversation across the cabin. Major Adon Trace looked up from his slide pad. "Excuse me, Governor?" Governor Locke didn't emerge from his stare as he spoke. "Ah, Major Trace, I'm just thinking out loud. I can't believe it's been 20 spins since I signed the Alpha Treaty, ending the war. My daughter Ava is a spin postmarker for me. She has 19 spins. My soulmate and I celebrated the end of the war in a very special way. You know what happens one spin later, emergence." Knowing smile spread across Major Trace's lips. "Oh yes, linkage, incubation, then emergence, so I've been told." Governor Locke raised his eyebrows and motioned with his right hand. "You speak as one who has only heard and not joined in the circle of life." Major Trace smiled again. Looking away, he replied, "Governor, are you inquiring about my love life? Well, I am a man with a daughter, and you are my circle shield." Governor Locke smiled back with the same knowing expression and twinkle in his eye. "Governor, I will not dishonor your circle by making unwanted advances toward your daughter," Major Trace said earnestly, squaring his shoulders and puffing out his chest. Governor Locke looked beyond the Major's shoulder. "Judging Ava's body language, your advances may not be unwanted at all. I know she's glad you were appointed my circle shield. She hasn't stopped talking about you. She's heard the news 2 turns ago." Major Trace was a little uncomfortable being the object of affections of a young woman 11 spins his junior. The moment was awkward. Thankfully, he was summoned to the command quad by Captain Halar. A smile of relief came across his face as he politely excused himself and headed toward the cone section of the Phoenix-class Stellar Cruiser. He heard the giggles of the three young women after he walked by them. Ava had held her breath and turned a bright shade of red after he caught her eye. She was relieved that he moved away quickly and that she didn't have to talk to him. Ava was so enraptured by his physical presence, she couldn't even think straight. She just left off the tension for the moment, and Major Trace walked quickly down the bi-level corridor. His footsteps echoed off the bulkheads, alerting the tone sentry. "Stand tall," the disembodied voice said as a series of laser detectors scanned his muscular frame. "You have been identified as Major Adon Trace. Proceed to the command quad." Tone sentry. That only happens when the cruiser has been invaded and the entire crew is dead, Major Trace thought. Something is rotten on the fourth world. Bi-leveled interlocking discs to the command quad were closed. The etched, non-magnetic metal was a poor mirror, but it was good enough to show Trace what was behind him. Suddenly, Trace spun and caught a striking serpent in one motion. He held it tightly, only a few segments from the life canal pulsating in his neck. "Who let you out of the sacred well?" The red-eyed, poisonous viper hissed back at him, showing rows of hollowed fangs. The viper wrapped itself in a tight coil around Major Trace's arm. "You're lucky that you're the sacred symbol of the Circle of Locks, and that I'm your shield. Otherwise, I'd toss you out the airlock," he said in a foreboding voice. "And you're lucky that I don't tell the governor of your sacrilegious overtones, Major," an angry female voice said from behind him.